Are we officially live? We are live. We are a go. Hi, it's Mancow from Muller Manor, and just had the Misfits staying here for. Well, I'm wearing the shirt. There you go, for Riot Fest, and they did kick off from our vast 9 Inch Nails earlier. I guess performing or coming up here, and I'm not there. I'm here. So let's go to. I got a great guest tonight. I'm going to stop all the shenanigans. We'll just go to the guest because he's that good. Let's go to Robert Davi. Hi, Robert.
Hey, how are you, Mancow? How you doing, brother?
Now, well, I'm good, man. You and I are friends. Can we say that, or are we just?
Yes.
Is it fake friends?
No. You could say it.
Okay.
We're
well, you
friends.
know, you have showbiz buddies. You and I are showbiz buddies,
No,
but I
we've
didn't know
talked for years.
the goatee is really dark.
Yours?
Yeah.
Well,
Not a
maybe
great
because
dye
it's
job. Not a
lining.
great dye job today.
Really, mine isn't. You notice how mine is kind of textured and has a lot more. It's not as thick as yours.
What did you think? I want to get look. We're going to talk about his movie, which I have seen, and I have a lot of questions about. My Son Hunter. And
But how have you been, by the way?
Well, we have great friends. We have great enemies. We have a lot in common, you and I.
Well, that's a good thing.
And what did you think of your adventure in radio?
My adventure in radio, I like it. It's just time consuming and it's not as lucrative as I would have liked to have it be.
As you were told.
Yes, as I was told.
Yeah.
But I did enjoy it because you're talking to people, you're affecting some kind of change. If you have any social political acumen, you want to, and you see things that perhaps you can give an enlightenment to people that it's not getting through. So I did enjoy that. It's not having to be on the set 12 hours a day.
Yeah.
You're in front of a microphone, you're chatting with someone, with friends. You make your audience. So I did, but except that, didn't.
Well, you and I had the same assholes we had to deal with, and one of the guys. Now, I did like Marcelo Corona, my producer. Did you like him? Did you deal with him?
Marcelo. I liked everybody except that they just it was like.
Nah, we don't need. We don't need to get into it, but.
No, but I'm just saying it's like going out with a girl that when you were younger and she was just leading you on and teasing you and you were waiting for the big thing and it never happened.
We got really hours on radio and I to talk about our experiences in radio, and I think I helped. I don't want to take too much credit, but I was a cheerleader to Robert trying radio, and yes. I recently just days ago, I get radio offers, and it's just.
Oh, good.
Yeah, but it's just.
You mean they're not lucrative?
Well, and the censorship is such, and the censorship now on this has become worse. We got kicked off YouTube for something a guest said, that a guest asked a question.
Really? And
I lost 177,000 followers on one platform for nothing. You must be aware of this. Shit, I'm sure you're not getting your movie. You're not able to pimp your movie like you'd like to because of the communists.
Well, there's a great film talking about that right now that everyone should see. All your listeners should watch. Besides mysonhunter.com, where you can go get my film, My Son Hunter, which we'll talk about in a bit, I'm sure.
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about that.
No, I'm talking about something else. I'm going to talk about, because I care about our country, and I care about people understanding what's going on. And it's not just, me promoting a project that I have, but what's going to enlighten and open the ears and minds up of people. There's a film called Mr. Jones. Have you seen it?
No.
2020.
Mr. Jones, send that to me.
It's about Gareth Jones. Who is Gareth Jones? He's an Englishman who was working for one of the politicos of England, who was sent in the 1930s to Russia. Now, there's a character called Walter Duranty, who was the big reporter of the New York Times at the time, and he was in Moscow, the correspondent for Russia, for the New York Times in Moscow. And when the famine in the Ukraine happened, and see how this ties in on so many different levels, Mancow. When the famine in the Ukraine happened, Walter Duranty was ignoring it and saying it wasn't happening. This is the New York Times. This is a journalist. This Gareth Jones goes there because a friend of his is murdered in Moscow, and he tries to find out what the story is.
Mm-hmm.
And he travels to Ukraine, and he uncovers that the famine was happening and millions of people are starving to death. It's quite stark. And he cannot tell his story because it's being blocked. Walter Duranty gets a Pulitzer Prize for his cover-ups. Pulitzer Prize.
Wow.
Walter Duranty and Gareth Jones finally meets up with, because he's trying. It's just like when the Post and Miranda Devine and Peter Schlesinger, put the story about Hunter Biden. You know what I mean? When people were breaking this and all the other papers were saying, no, it's this and that.
Yeah.
So what happens is he goes there and he meets up with Randolph Hearst.
Sure.
And Hearst prints the story, and it changes everyone's perception of what Stalin was doing and who Stalin was in a certain way. And
Robert,
ahead.
I did a really a bad job of introducing it. It occurred to me people would certainly know your face, I would think, although you are kind of freaky in that you look younger than last time I saw you. So I don't know if it's the lighting or you've had work done, but
no
you
work.
You look very
boyish.
If
I had work done, Mancow, I'd look like this.
yeah. You there you go. You look very youthful. But you know Robert Davi, folks, from he was a villain in a Bond movie. He was in my favorite movie of all time. I was having dinner with he hears this every time I talk to him, so I'm going to tell it quick. But I'm having dinner with Robert Altman and Roger Ebert, and they went through Truffaut, and I think Ebert said Casablanca, and they went through the great movies, and they said, well, what's your favorite movie? It was the three of us. And I said, Die Hard. And I made a case for it. It's a perfect movie. It is a perfect movie. And they stopped talking to me for the rest of the dinner. I mean, literally, they went, we're done with him. We're done with this guy. I think Die Hard is, I think it's a masterpiece. Anyway.
I was just in London because they had a screening of it there. And they had myself and John McTiernan come and do a Q&A. And
the director.
they asked me to sing. Yes, he was the director of Die Hard. And they asked me to sing,
Sinatra songs. You're a great crooner. Yeah, people don't know what a great singer you are.
And I ended it with...
Not an impersonator, by the way.
No.
You do your own thing, and I love it.
And I ended it with, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. And the audience had the lines behind us, and the whole audience, and they said... So I said, I'm always asked, is this a Christmas movie? I go, yeah, it's a Christmas movie. And then, so it was a fun night. This was just about a month ago. And
Alan Rickman, the villain, all his little sidekicks, the little bits of business. Bruce Willis he's never been as good. And of course, I thought the soundtrack was masterful. Didn't you think that was a great soundtrack? I don't know who did it, but the little Mickey Mousing of the Christmas music in there, and then the classical music brought in, and
choices.
So are you recognized most for, this is a shitty radio interview question, but are you recognized most for Goonies? You're the bad guy in the Goonies. Are you recognized for that? The Living Daylights? I mean, James Bond, come on.
License to Kill. License to Kill,
yeah. Or are you...
It was License to Kill, not Living Daylights. Bond film.
Sorry. There's only 50 to choose from. But
I've been 47 years in Hollywood, my brother. And people, 47 years. So I did a lot of work over those years.
Yes.
I've done a lot of work. So it's all over the place. Some people are Bond fans. Some people are Showgirls. Some people are Goonies fans. Some people are Die Hard. Some people are Expendables. Some people are television show, Profiler, or Stargate Atlantis, or whatever it is. 170 films, tons of television. It's all over the place.
Stargate, how great.
And some my music, believe it or not, that went to number 6 on Billboard Jazz. Which
my producer.
Yes,
my producer goes, he's a good actor, but I like his singing, and he's not an impersonator. He's not trying to impersonate.
No. You get the album on Davi Sings Sinatra, Amazon.
Davi Sings Sinatra. Okay, we're going to talk about my son Hunter. Before I get to that, Robert, I have a story I think you'll enjoy.
Go.
British ambassador had a conversation with me. This is this year. I don't want to get him in trouble, but he had quite a bit of dealings with the media. And he said that he set up a phone call between the Queen, and I think I can tell it now, the Queen and the Broccoli's. And the Queen had gotten word, and I'm making, this is, you can't even talk about what I'm going to talk about. But we had gotten word, or they had gotten word, that the new Bond was going to be I can't say African-American because she's English. So the African English woman, who's 007 right now in the Bond movies, when we last we left Daniel Craig, and a lesbian, that it was going to be a black female lesbian James Bond. That was the plan. And the Queen called and said, look, this is such a big thing for us. Remember, they started the Olympics with James Bond, with Queen Elizabeth. It's such a big thing. Please don't do this. James Bond is an Englishman, not a... I mean, this is a quicksand question you probably don't want to answer, but according to this representative, the Queen called and said, please don't do this. That is not James Bond. That is not what Ian Fleming wrote. Any thoughts?
Well, I don't know if the Queen did that or not. You know, I mean,
well, that's what I was told.
People can, no. But people can say a lot of things when somebody's gone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Told that.
That's why I'm doing it.
And yeah,
I'm doing it now because he can't get in trouble.
But I don't know. Look, personally, I think whether it's have another character, create another character. That's
Linda Carter was saying Wonder Woman could be a man. Why not?
Create another character.
Create another character.
We'll never
do it
because Ian Fleming did write Bond as that, and that was a part of the cultural. It would be like us taking the film The Black Panther after they did 15 of them.
Yeah.
And because of a woke society going, well, we've oppressed the white person long enough. Let's make the Black Panther character white because
Ryan Reynolds should be Ryan Reynolds.
Who knows? I mean, it's just too much. It's too much of this woke thing and the racial divide that we have that is heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking to see this racial divide that we have in our country right now, and the continued. I wrote an article on Breitbart, and the article was about Bill Ayers in Chicagoland and the Weather Underground. Yeah. And on his website back in the day, Bill Ayers and Bernadette Dorn, in his website back in the day, it said, we want to create a white fighting force and combine them with the Black liberation movement to bring down American imperialism, colonialism, and institute world communism. That's what he said. That's what was on their constitution.
They're doing it.
So people go, don't talk about communism. Don't talk about this. And look at Mancow, both sides are bereft. Both sides have sold this country down by not speaking up enough as things were happening. That I blame both sides. And what we have to do is the only wokeness we need is the awakening of the American people to make sure they're voting for people that say America first, that care about America first, and stop. It's another film that people should watch is Dr. Zhivago, besides My Son Hunter. Dr. Zhivago shows you what happened and how they took a society and they stifled their tongues to their foreheads and they're gone. Reagan said, don't be afraid to speak up because you might lose a job or you might lose a customer or you might lose whatever it is because what's going to happen is you're going to wound up being eaten by the crocodile who's going to wait to eat you last. I'm paraphrasing what Reagan said.
No, I get it.
Yeah, you get it. So it's here we are sitting there, and how curious it is that we don't have a media that is really culpable. It's like the whole thing that happened. We don't have a pandemic now, as Joe Biden said.
Yeah, as of today. But all the rules are in place.
But he also said that his ratings are going down because of COVID. And meanwhile, so it's insidious to me. It has to be insidious to the American people. I don't want to demonize any political party. I don't want to throw red meat to anybody. I want people to hear the truth, period. And but they will demonize. They say, well, then, you're not anti-American. People say you're a traitor because, you like this one, or you're a traitor because of that, because you think differently. It's like what they did with immigration here. Look what they did. They went to Martha's Vineyard. I wrote an article on Breitbart. I've written for Breitbart. You know that for years. Yeah. And I said, listen, this is in 2017. I said to Hollywood, to America, I said, invite people, immigrants, migrants, terrorists to the Oscars or you're racist. And I said that you have walls around Hollywood. You have security around the Academy Awards. You've got homes that have fences and everything else. Take the migrants there. If you really have this big heart that you're talking about, let them park. That's exactly what they did. Beautiful. This was in 2017, and Tucker Carlson had me on because he loved that article. And now, finally, 5 years later, the GOP gets some kind of imagination, and they start to say, you know what? How do we, because they won't go to the border. If politicians don't go to the border, let's bring the border to them and see what's happening. And the American people, you're selling out your country. You know, everyone has a bleeding heart. We all have a bleeding heart. We all care about each other. But at the same time, I left Los Angeles after 45 years. 45 years in LA because it turned into a, you allowed to say a swear word on here?
Yeah.
A shithole.
Well, Chicago too, brother. New Orleans just named the murder capital of America.
Every Democratic-run city. So you got to scratch your head. People listening, you know, look, I don't want to demonize Democrats or Republicans or anybody, but if it smells like a duck, if it walks like a duck, if it craps like a duck, what are you going to call it?
A duck.
And these are the things that are happening on the inner cities over and over again. And they continue to kind of support the same policies because they're very articulate, very smart with their messaging. They hit the emotional solarplex of the American people. Look I'm an environmentalist. I gave concerts for Prince Albert in the oceans, in Monaco for the oceans. Barbara Streisand, Hollywood for Science, they honored her. I've been in environment. I want clean water, clean air. I care about our environment.
Yeah.
At the same time, I went to the Amazon rainforest. I did a movie in 1990 with a Finnish director. I saw what the gold mines did in the mercury to the Amazon rainforest, the garimpos. Do they realize
what the batteries are going to do?
Batteries, what they're going to do down the line? Do they realize the pollution? Worse. And they're selling this stuff. You know, by 2035, we got to have this and we got to got that. We got to go that. Meanwhile, we could be the engine of the world. You know, and
they don't have electricity in Los Angeles right now. They're going to add every car as electric. It's nonsense. You know, Robert, you're not going to believe what I'm going to say to you. I'm a huge David Lean fan. I've never been able to get through Dr. Zhivago, Julie Christie, Omar Sharif. Great cast, great soundtrack. And there's my dog going crazy. I can't get through it. I have to ask you something really weird. Is there like a little pink chair sitting behind you over your shoulder in the other room? What am I looking? There's like a little chair sitting over there. Yeah, that way. Is that a little chair?
That's my 3-year-old's chair. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know if it was a forced perspective thing. Why is there this little teeny chair?
That's my little baby daughter.
Wait,
she's sleeping now.
You've got a 3-year-older?
I have a 3-year-old.
I've been thinking of getting snipped.
No.
So you got a new hot young wife? Is that what happened?
Well, I don't know. It's not young. I mean, she's 40 years old. I met her 5-6 years ago in Estonia when I gave concerts.
My friend said better than Viagra. My friend Chris Payne. Yeah, he said better. I was going to say Chris Plant. I don't want to get him in trouble. Chris Payne said to me, he goes, better than Viagra. You get a young girl.
Well,
I'm happily married for 20 years. So, but
right, and I was not happily married, but but I am happily married now, and the work is absolutely fantastic. And
where do you live now? Are you in Florida?
I'm in Florida, Tampa Bay area. I won't say exactly where.
Well, I've got a job interview to move there.
Really?
Yeah.
Where? Tampa?
To do radio there.
Tampa?
I should hook up with my friend Maduri. Do you want to do radio in Tampa?
That might be fun.
Well, Bruce Maduri is my buddy there.
Huh.
And he runs radio and some TV stuff. Huh. So I got another year left here with my kids in college, and then we want to do a show out of there and syndicate maybe.
That would.
But I've also got I got a great offer right now in Chicago. Look, who gives a shit about that? Let's.
But let me tell you something, man. Yeah. It's great here. I mean, I kick myself for not doing it earlier. Myself.
I love Chicago. I love Chicago. As you can imagine, this city's been so incredible to me.
It's a wonderful city. I mean,
but I feel evil giving money to these bastards. My taxes on my house, brother. You ready? Robert, you ready?
Go ahead.
My property tax, and my wife corrects me. Yes, I hire a lawyer every year to have them lowered. That's what you have to do.
Really?
I fight it every year. It's a
How do you lower them? How do you lower them?
You go to court and you lower them. Oh, it's too high. It's too high. And the lawyers that wrote the laws are the same lawyers you have to hire to get your property taxes lowered.
Really?
So it's a couple $1,000s every year. But my property tax every year on this house, on the glorious Muller Manor, is $45,000 a year.
Oh my God!
For a police force, it's not allowed to do anything. For schools that are brainwashing emporiums, for shit roads that you can't even believe. I drive all over America, and then you get back here to Chicago with the highest tolls everywhere, and the roads are like the surface of the moon. The red light cameras, the gotcha bullshit, they've really turned this into a hellhole, as you said. And I heard shots. There was several shots near me. I own a restaurant in Chicago called Marquesa. Several shots near me. Some big Mexican party going on. I don't know. They were going crazy a couple of days ago. And lots of shootings. 60 people shot this week. 60 people shot. 60. But don't talk about it. And if you talk about it, you're racist, according to our governor and our mayor. But I want to talk about. Look, I feel like I'm good. First of all, did your investors make their money back?
Well, first off, this was 30,000 Americans that crowdfunded this film.
That's what I'm saying.
The unreported
Are they going to get their money back? Are they going to get their money back?
Oh, I don't know that. This is Phil McAleer and Ann McAnally and Magda Cicada. They're part of the Unreported Story Society. That's theirs. They crowdfunded this. I had nothing to do with the financing aspect of this. All I know is Breitbart's releasing it. Breitbart is the distributor. I'm the director. And
your first time?
What?
Your first time?
No, I won 9 awards for my film, The Dukes. The Dukes, you have to see it.
I saw that. Are you shitting me? Come on. I think I saw it with you.
With me and Chaz Palminteri, Peter Bogdanovich, Miriam Margolis, yes.
Chaz is my boy.
Yeah, so we did The Dukes.
Chaz loves radio.
Yes, he does.
Chaz is a guy that, like me, honestly loves radio. So, do you want? Do I want to show? Do you want to see a? Okay, look. I'm going to look for a picture. Will you chat for a second? But the first thing I want to say to you, I think, is going to offend you, and that is, I thought of the whole movie as a satire. Am I right? Was I supposed to take it seriously?
Okay. No.
All right.
I fashioned
it's a funny movie.
I fashioned it after American Hustle and The Wolf of Wall Street. That kind of humor, that kind of satirical aspect.
I'll tell you, Nudie and Dewey and my crew here, we were saying it's Wolf of Wall. And by the way, the woman from the Mandalorian.
Yes, Jaina Carano.
And she was a UFC fighter.
Yes,
right?
Yes, MMA, and she was she plays the Secret Service agent.
I think she steals the movie.
She's terrific in it. Lawrence Fox plays Hunter Biden. He's a brilliant actor.
Yeah,
he's absolutely a brilliant actor.
There's a fantasy aspect to this.
John James plays Joe Biden, and then this young girl, this Emma Goyevic, who plays a 25-year-old left-wing activist who is an exotic dancer.
Yeah,
while she is paying for her college education, she meets up with Hunter Biden, and then they start an affair, and it's through that relationship now you unpeel the onion layer until finally she sees the compromising aspect of what they did, and this denial of the alleged influence peddling and making deals with the nefarious people around the world.
There's, as you know, there's video of Biden bragging about it. He should be in jail. Do you think all of this, my neighbors that have the, everyone's welcome here, and then it's written in Arabic. I have daughters, man. I don't want Sharia law. Not everyone's welcome in my neighborhood. It's such bullshit. Everyone's welcome. I believe in science. It's just the shit I have to see walking around here. And of course,
everybody has it. Look, that's the great thing about America. But let's keep it America. In other words, when they
I want Sharia law for my daughters.
No. Well, that's what they did.
Bastards.
They have certain aspects of I guess within their community, let them have that. But in terms of the community of e pluribus unum, we have to abide by our thing. That's you and Andrew.
Yeah. So we had a TV show with Woody Frazier through Fox News Channel and Roger Ailes. He was going to be part of it. Alex Jones may be part of it, although they did not want him. Aisha Tyler was another person we were talking with. And it was a go. And he had footage he said that would, it's a very long story. I won't bore you. Bottom line is, you ready? Here we go. I'm going to fast forward. I think he was murdered. How about you?
Andrew?
Yeah.
There's speculation.
I made you uncomfortable twice today.
Made me what?
I made you uncomfortable twice.
No, I'm not uncomfortable.
Come on.
No, I got to be truthful. I can't just say yes because I don't know. I've talked to people very close.
My gut. Yeah.
I've talked to people very close to him, and I was very close to him.
Me too, brother.
He had some issues, some health issues. I don't know. I don't want to. You know what? It could it be? Why not?
Robert, he had something that was going to bring down the House of Clinton, was going to destroy Obama. He said it is so shocking, and I believe it has. I think it has something to do. The way we spoke, and he said, you will not believe it. I'm going to release it. I said, you got to do it on my show. He goes, no, but I'll do it simultaneously. And he was going to come on my show that day. I don't know if people remember Andrew Breitbart, who started the Huffington Post and Breitbart.com and a bunch of stuff.
Drudge Report. He also worked on the Drudge Report.
Drudge, and a dear friend of mine. And this guy said, I have footage. You will not believe it. The evil is going to. And I think it has something to me. This is my opinion. I think it had something to do with Satanism. And I think it had something to do with the Epstein type activity, if you know what I'm saying. And yes. I think it was going to bring them down. And then a week or two later, Sean Hannity showed a footage of well, this is what it was. Showed footage that was shown on PBS years earlier. It's all whatever Breitbart had has never been shown.
Right. Yeah. I don't know of it.
So,
you know what I mean? So but there is speculation.
They find him. No, listen, brother. 4:30 in the morning, he went out jogging at 4:30 in the morning. They find him with his mouth frothing, which is poisoning. He's supposed to be on my show 5:30, 6:30 in Chicago. He's in LA. And they announce, brother, I'm telling you, the biggest drug addict, if I'm trying to think who it would be. Whatever, a big drug addict. No, we don't know. You know, we got to do the toxicology reports. Michael Jackson, whatever. No, we don't know how they died. We got to wait a couple of weeks with toxicology. They never, when a celebrity dies, when you die, Robert, we don't know. We got to wait and see. The cause of death with Breitbart, they announced it. Dead, natural causes, no investigation. That's how they announced it. They never do that. Ever.
Well,
natural causes, no investigation, nothing to see here, and then look up the coroner that investigated it.
But the thing is, from what I understood,
from what I understand, was murdered. Yes.
From what I understand, it wasn't jogging. He was at he had a meeting. He had a dinner. It was in the evening time.
I know.
Oh, okay.
And then I met with his father-in-law, who was the legend, right? You know his father-in-law,
Orson Bean,
and then he was run over in the street 2 weeks later. I'm not saying there's any connection.
No, he was running the street years later.
No. I'm saying I met with him.
Right.
I told him about all of the things I'm telling you.
Oh, I see.
He had his theories.
Yes.
And then he was hit and run in the street.
Yes. Okay. But he may have had, but that was a couple of years later.
Yes. It may have been a hit and run, or maybe he was going to release information.
I still wonder about the Kennedy assassination, and now there's documentaries talking about the relationship he had with Marilyn Monroe and what Robert Kennedy had with Marilyn Monroe and what happened to her. I mean, there's so many, and, even in our film, there's an aside that Gina Carano's character says, oh, by the way, what does she say? It's very clever how she says it. It has nothing to do with anything, basically. She goes, but Epstein didn't kill himself. She just
See, we can't say that. I can't say that now. I'll get in trouble for that. That's what somebody says. We don't know, folks. We don't know. I mean, it's just, this is the world we're living in, brother. Communism runs the AIs. The AIs are communist, and they're watching and screw their algorithms. And it's very you think I've gone off the reservation, don't you?
No, I don't. I think you have a point of view. No, look at. You know what?
I feel very strongly about this, Robert.
But that's what this country is about. Yeah. Feeling strongly about things.
There's more to Breitbart than we know. Our old friend.
There may be, but he did have some. Did have some health issues because that was the first thing I questioned.
How many people do you know that had health issues and were fine, and then got and then 2 weeks later, mysteriously to the day, they die in their sleep? You know any of those stories?
Well, there's a lot of people dying these days, young people and all kinds of people that are just taking.
We can't say. I have a theory, but if I say it,
right,
that'll be your next movie, I guess.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I have something in the works. We'll see.
Should have you heard about the new Reagan movie?
I'm in it.
Wait, did you do with Mark Joseph?
Yeah, Dennis Quaid. I play Leonid Brezhnev.
Holy shit! I was supposed to be in that.
Really?
But I'm union, and they wouldn't. I was supposed to be the fat guy that drowns in the lake here.
Yeah,
but they were filming union.
No, it was a union picture.
No, but I was. Yeah, that they had to pay me extra, and then there was. It's a long story. I love Mark Joseph. I was supposed to be the guy that young Reagan saves. Ask Mark.
No, I'm sure.
When is it coming out?
I have no idea. I have a nice little cameo where I play the Leonid Brezhnev who had eyebrows. I play this character Brezhnev. Very interesting.
Good.
Character.
How's
Russian
Quaid?
leader.
How's
Quaid is good, very good.
Academy Award winning?
I haven't seen the whole film.
How do you take on a role like that, Robert? I mean, Brezhnev or Reagan or whoever? You don't. But do you want to be them, or do you do Robert Davi?
No, you try to. You try. You don't
want to do a Dana Carvey, right?
No. There's different things. Actors can transform themselves to make you. It's like what Lawrence Fox. Like I said, his dad did movies with David Lean. He's been a big English star. He's been canceled. This guy in England. He's been canceled
because he did this movie.
No, because he said something that was very honest in England. You should look him up and find out about Lawrence Fox.
Fox. I know who Lawrence Fox is, brother.
No, but I'm saying what happened there in England with him.
I don't know that. I didn't know he was blackballed or blacklisted or whatever.
Absolutely. So what happens is,
canceled.
But he gives a brilliant performance, and he's not imitating
Joe.
Hunter. He's
Hunter.
No, that's John James from Dynasty.
Okay.
He plays Joe. He's not imitating Joe, but he's giving Joe. You know what I mean? So as an actor, you have it's a impression of a character, and then people if you're truthful, will then all of a sudden, instead of a comment on the character, you have an organic. You take an organic journey inside the character, so it's not a caricature. Not like a Saturday Night Live skit or what I've seen. What was that film that DiCaprio did about the environment recently? End of. What was it?
My God, brother, I don't know.
There was a film he recently did with Meryl Streep, who's the greatest actor of all time. Right? I would never have let her play that character like that in my film. She played a Trumpish female, but so over the top and so with no love at all for the character. You know what I'm saying? And I told my actors, no, I don't want you to demonize them. There's a reason why one guy's been in politics for 45 years, black slapping, and people say he's a great guy.
Yeah.
That's behind the, Cubby Broccoli wrote a book one time called When the Snow Melts. And when the snow melts, you see what's underneath. You understand?
Do I want to read that?
It's.
Do I want to read that?
It's not a political book. It's just about Bond. It's just about Bond.
When the snow melts, Cubby
But
Broccoli.
I liked what's good about it is when the snow melts, what do you see? The dog crap on the streets.
Did you work with Cubby?
License to Kill.
Was he still in the world of living?
Was the last one. The last License to Kill was the last one that Cubby and Dana and Richard Maybaum, the original Bond team, were all alive when we did License to Kill. As a matter of fact, Cubby Broccoli, I was born in Astoria, Queens. Cubby was born in Astoria, Queens. I grew up on Long Island. We were very close.
Wow.
He really had affection for me and I for him. And I used to have dinners and lunches with Cubby Broccoli, Frank Sinatra, and a guy named Sidney Korshak.
Well, I'm from Chicago, brother. His daughter was my press agent, Margie.
You know who Sid was? The most powerful man in Hollywood and a great guy. Him and his wife Beatrice. He was
Robert. Robert. Someday I would love to, not tonight, but someday I would love to talk about Irv Kupcinet's daughter, Korshak, the murder, Man Ray, the Black Dahlia, Mark Goddard. Do you know the whole story?
I know parts of it, not all.
I mean, there's a movie right there, brother.
Yeah.
This you knew Irv Kupcinet.
Yeah.
The great Chicago writer. His daughter goes off to be a star. She's cut up like the Black Dahlia. Mark Goddard from Lost in Space, a good friend of mine, goes over to find. But Korshak was the guy that.
I think we just lost me.
No. Are you there?
I'm there, but you're not.
Well, that's okay. Don't worry about it. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can see you now too.
We can see. Oh, you can see me. Okay. Anyway, so you're hanging out with heavyweights.
Yeah. I
my
first film with Sinatra.
What did Sinatra think of your singing?
I never sang for him. I wasn't doing it then. He knew what we talked about was Gustav Mahler and opera, because we both studied opera, but I didn't want to, hey, Frank, you want to hear me sing like every other guy did? No.
Yeah. Paul Sorvino would have.
Maybe, God forbid. I mean, and I love Paul Sorvino. He passed away, but no,
Yeah, I
that
love him
wasn't
too.
my thing.
Yeah.
I only did the American Songbook in 2010. Sinatra had passed, and no one was doing this songbook like I felt that with the weight of what he did. And luckily, I did it. And a Chicago boy brought 17 people to my show named Quincy Jones, and basically
wow.
said that here's the guy that's doing it today.
Yeah, I
In
don't
so
like a
many
lot of
ways.
the guys that are trying to carry on the torch. You're actually doing it. So, all right, how do people see the movie? I've overstayed my welcome with you. How
You can
how
never do that. We have a lot
Thank
to
you.
catch up on.
Oh, man, you think?
MySonHunter.com. MySonHunter.com.
Yeah, mysonhunter.com. All my friends have seen it, but if you're my friend and
Yes.
you haven't seen it, check it
So
out.
did you enjoy it? Did you laugh? What do you guys
Yes,
say?
yes. But I was hoping. I didn't want to get a dour, serious director, Robert Davi, on tonight that was going to be offended that I said I saw it as a,
No, I
Dr.
told you.
Strangelove satire.
Well, as a matter of fact, some of the reviewers had mentioned that. They said it's the best conservative film done. They talked about Strangelove and Kubrick and what I did with this.
There you go.
And others. And also the left has beat it up, of course. And you know what's interesting, Mancow? And this goes back to that the Gareth Jones, about Mr. Jones movie.
Mr. Jones. I want to see that.
There have been innumerable left-wing critics and magazines and this and that and the other thing that will mention something in the film and they hadn't even seen the film really.
Oh, yeah.
And they will say, this never could have happened. Well, you know what? I got it from Beautiful Things, Hunter's own autobiography. So, I mean, it's incredulous. So when I see that, and then you put that into the political climate of how things are, how it's unchristian to have people in Martha's Vineyard. But then I say to myself, but okay, wait a second. So they're saying, and you're supposed to believe in our Lord, and yet you're doing this and mocking the migrants. No, we're not mocking the migrants. We're not having a laugh about it. We're crying what's happening to this country because of open borders that let illegals in. I wrote in Breitbart 2010, we have to fix immigration. I met with Mitch McConnell. I says, you got to have an immigration program. I gave it to him. He gave me a dead stare. They're all complacent. They're all guilty.
Yeah. Look, brother,
but what about abortion? Yeah. What about babies being ripped from the womb? If you're talking about treating migrants well, what about the unborn that have their own DNA and their own rights?
Yeah, they don't further the agenda. Those babies don't further the agenda. They don't get us closer to communism.
They can't. They
don't get us closer to third world status, which is what they want. And then people say, well, why would they do that? Why? My wife said to me, why would Biden do that? He has kids here. He has grandchildren. Doesn't he want America? No, they're all paid off. They're doing very well because of China. And of course, as you know, Robert,
this is important, Mancow.
Yeah.
Gavin Newsom may run. Now in California, and nobody brings this up, when the pandemic hit, Gavin Newsom, instead of having factories in California make masks, okay, and there's a lot of companies that could have done it.
Yeah.
Instead of giving it to the Californians, he gave over $1 billion contract to a Chinese company, and they've never made any sterile anything. But you know what they do make? Take a guess. Yeah. Take a guess what they make.
Viruses.
Lithium batteries. Batteries.
And
batteries.
And where what does Afghanistan have?
And
lots of. Yeah, there you go.
Out of there. I mean, if people follow the thing.
So Robert, I didn't get to my question, which is my fault, but I put on the T and I didn't hit it. I'm with Ukraine. That's what I was going to say. My neighbors, I'm with Ukraine. They couldn't find their ass with two hands, let alone Ukraine on a map. I'm with Ukraine. Stop Asian hate. I've never seen any of this. By the way, the black-white thing too, that's now blown out of proportion. You and I grew up in a world, and you were around people of all color. Me too. I never felt any of these things they're attributing to us and our side and all. That's just such horseshit. But let me ask a question. Do you think Ukraine is all about money laundering for the Biden crime family?
You know what? It's a question that needs to be found out and asked. I know that in Burisma they had that. In Burisma they had it. They know what they did. Look at the money laundering thing. The money. I mean, it's so. Here's the thing. Mancow, how I believe
Yeah.
in our politics.
We're going late, brother.
Okay, well, another minute.
Okay, no, go as long as you want. I feel bad.
No, don't feel bad.
If you're having fun, I want to go. I want to keep going.
Okay.
Okay.
What I'm saying is this: if we're going to have people, we have the base. We got the red meters. We need to widen that tent a little bit. We need to widen the tent a little bit because they've been so inundated. And now what happens is the style and that other aspect, we have to question it. I don't know, perhaps, but I don't know 100%. But we have to question it as you did.
Yeah.
We're right in questioning it. But to be dogmatic about it can be a little bit, okay, wait a second now. That's just my own style on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I think how we have people listen to us is we have to be accountable to our own side, just as we have to be accountable and fight the hypocrisy on the left and the destructive policies of the
Censorship
left.
is my hippie liberal friends. We're you could burn the American flag, man, freedom, and I'm like, well, okay, I'd like to kick your ass if you do that, but freedom. And it turns out they don't want freedom at all. They want only their voice.
Well,
diversity means doesn't include you and me. We're not included. We're not invited.
No, and it makes people upset and angry.
Yeah.
And I've got to say that one of my pet peeves is that the Hollywood conservatives have been, like you said, diversity, SAG, and all the production houses in Hollywood. We talk about diversity, and we need this one and that group and this, and ba bing boom bang. Meanwhile, Italians were called lower and dirtier than other colors back in the 1906 by the New York Times. Lynchings in New Orleans, 14 Italians lynched. I mean, my grandparents spit on me not being able to join a country club because you're dark-skinned and Italian and have a little bit of, but anyway, not even to get into that. But I think the diversity of thought where the blacklist happens in Hollywood and the media, that's the danger in our country. And I'm going to make that a mission in myself to be able to say, what about conservative voices in Hollywood? How come we're not able to act and be able to put on the media? Why is The View not having someone like myself on talking about my son Hunter to the public? Why? How come that point of view can't be said? Where if it was a Trump bashing film, they'd have 1,000 people on and they'd be rah-rahing it. It's not fair. The right does the same thing, but we've got to learn to be able to say, okay, here it is, guys.
Robert, you've acted with some of my favorite actors. You've been in some of my favorite movies, my generation's favorite movies. You're sitting at having dinner with Tim Robbins. You gonna be able to talk with him? What do you do when you're sitting across from some commie actor at the food service area? I mean, what do you? Well, and they tear into you. They tear into you because you're you dare to think. You dare to ask questions.
Look, I've had conversations with Alec Baldwin over the years, not recently, but we've had conversations where we can vehemently disagree, but still, at a certain point, who knows if who's tolerating who. But again, I would not go about and say, I would not accuse one starting with a conversation of being anything. Just understanding, how could you, like I would say that when Bill Maher had Rob Reiner on. And,
oh my God! Could you, Robert?
And Bill said to him,
"Could you believe that?
It's now
could you
exposed.
Believe that?
It's now exposed." And Reiner couldn't admit it. Reiner could not admit it. Now I would say, why can't you admit that? And don't deflect me on Trump and his kids and everything. Why can't you admit this little piece of thing? I said, let's make that our common ground for right now.
Wow.
And he couldn't do it. And many people are the same way. The comments on it.
Man, I had a friend of mine, Biden brought down gas prices 90 cents.
Yeah, well, that was the oil reserves that Trump bought for nothing. And now we're going to have to fill that up and pay.
We're giving how much to China, Robert? Sweet Jesus. By the way, as I mentioned, sweet Jesus, I know you're a Christian. I am too. And that was my fear. Mark Joseph did Passion of the Christ and some other great movies that look great. I know you're going to be in the Reagan movie as Brezhnev, which you said. I'm sure he told me that because he knows I love you. But, a lot of these Christian movies are, and Atlas Shrugged and some of these conservative movies they're not produced well, to me. They don't look good.
To me,
And this movie looks good. You did a nice job directing, brother.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thanks a lot, bro.
Thank you for your friendship.
Thank you very much.
I think they will. I think they will. Did you have fun?
Oh yeah, you always do. Because you're pulling the strings. You're the you're the man. It's a fun experience because you're creating and you're shaping performance and shaping the picture. It takes of course a village to make a film, but at the end of the day, the director has to have a style and a sensibility in terms of his shots, and so it's gratifying, and it's gratifying to see the response that people have watching the film.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, and I'll say goodbye now. But I'll come to Tampa. Rick Nielsen, the lead, not Rick Nielsen, but Robin, the lead singer of Cheap Trick, lives there. Rick lives here. If you like Cheap Trick, and then also Brian Johnson, lead singer of AC/DC. That's who I hang out with when I'm in Tampa.
No kidding.
We'll go over see Bruce Maduri. We'll get you a radio show. We'll have some great pasta. Huh?
Hey,
You'll
there's
sing
some
a couple
great
of
restaurants.
songs.
There's Donatello's in
I'll
Tampa.
try not to look at your hot young wife.
There's Santa Stefano.
We'll smoke a cigar.
It'll be great.
Peace and love, brother.
Peace
All
and
right,
love.
let's see the trailer. We'll end with the trailer. Let's end with that.
God bless. Thank
you. God bless you, brother. Keep me in your prayers. I'll keep you in my prayers.
I will.
And we'll both keep America in our prayers. Hit the trailer.
Yes.
All right, guys. Love.
So I'll tell you what's going down.
You know who I am.
They told me you were VIP. Well connected to the government.
What kind of a moron forgets to pick up his laptop at a repair shop? You're a Biden. Act like one. Everything he built, his life, I just ruined it all. I want to know everything that's on that laptop that can ruin my erection. My friends, it's time to party!
Didn't you know I'm taking control? I'm making appearance and I gotta go. Cause I get them dancing with their hands up. Yeah, I walk in and they go bananas. I'm a bad, yeah.
I'm an artist.
And they're cheering my
Tell me how I can help you.
I don't deserve help. Oh, I'm so sorry.
I've been through worse.
You're the smartest man I know. Thanks, Dad. I just wish I could smack some sense into you. I'll never forget Corn Pop. He was a bad dude. No joke. Dad, we were talking about suffering.
I can't seem to find anything but positive stuff on the Bidens.
Who's the point man for the foreign policy in the Obama regime?
Joe Biden. So it looks like you need $1 billion.
So the obvious next question is,
Where's Hunter? I can remember getting paid some money, but I can't remember what for. Well, my dad says we never discuss my businesses, period. Or my cut.
what's happening in there? Joe's in on it.
Party's over!
You had everything, Hunter, and you threw it all away. You hope the laptop will take down everybody with you.
Get out! China's not our enemy. They're not bad folks. I love my dad, and I just want to make him proud. I am the one who brings in all the deals. I am the one